What's a job that you just associate with jerks? Paparazzi. Blake Lively recently posted saying, "Oh, look at these pictures, it looks like I'm smiling and happy, but that's because it was the only way I could get this man to stop stalking me and my young children who were freaked out. They're horrible. Every surgeon I've ever met was either one of the kindest, noblest, most intelligent people on the planet or a fudging sociopath. Worked for/with surgeons for 4 years. I confirm this. Also, age doesn't mean anything. God complex is really a thing in that field. I work in entertainment. Talent agents and managers top the list, then some talent themselves. I took one of those tests that tells what you should do for a living. It said I should be an attorney or an IRS agent, so clearly I am an butthole. As an attorney, we're severely underrepresented in this thread. Someone will hear from my lawyer about this. Televangelists. Car salesman. Estate agent. Door-to-door sales. Worked in car sales for 2 years. Couldn't get out of it fast enough. I felt like a sleazeball, and I was the most honest salesman on the lot by a country mile. Whoever calls the shots at the insurance company. Edit, oh the irony. Was just on my way to get CT scan because my doc says I need one and was called and told it was denied. Here we go again. Glad I've been paying these huge premiums for 20 years. Sis-in-law had her appendix burst while she was out of town. Insurance is refusing to cover it because she didn't go to one of the preferred doctors. There were of course no preferred doctors in the area, and it's the last thing on your mind when you're in that much pain. MLMs on Facebook. Girl I haven't talked to since high school. Hey girl. Long time no talk. Guess how I've been losing weight? You should try this product too. Like. Yeah. Okay, thanks. My favorite was, hey, I'm not sure we've ever spoken, but I got your name off this shirt from the swim club we were both in when we were 10. Wanna join my company? That explains obvious pyramid scheme with no actual job or sales tactic to make the money. That's the day I cracked down on my Facebook settings. Life coach equals burnt out douche/wannabe social media influencer. Yes. I know so many people who don't have their stuff together but think they'll do a fantastic job telling others how to get their stuff together. There's always a Bernice All-Indo in HR who's in everybody's business but their own. I see your Bernice and Linda, and raise you a Brenda. Head chef. I made it to Sue before leaving traditional kitchen work. They're all fudging miserable unless they own the place and are so rich they can just pay someone else to do the work. The executive chef at my last gig, owner, liked to show up to manager meetings in a car that costs $200,000. I couldn't convince the people in charge of payroll that the reason we couldn't find and retain decent prep cooks was the fact that they paid minimum wage. Also finance brothers, they're all douchebags. I would say call center supervisors, but they are snakes in the grass, and it's unfair to jerks to be compared to snakes in the grass. Any job where you can steal customers from your colleague. Salespeople can be one. Politicians, specifically the politicians who are members of the political party that is not my own. They are the worst. Third-party recruiters. False charm, constant lies, ghosting people, spamming, terrible attention spans, and an inability to simply read a down resume to see what people actually do rather than just one keyword. Hey, are you an engineer or artist? We have a role for you. Okay buddy, way to narrow things down. This comes from personal experience. Restaurant managers. Anyone that has worked in the restaurant industry knows just how much of a prick your managers can be. Influencers. MLM schemes. Well, OP asked for jobs, that doesn't count. Pimp. HOA has entered the chat. Soda fountain operator. Beach body coaches. Bleh. Personal trainers at a lifetime. Had this one incident where this trainer kept blatantly laughing at me whenever I did my next set of deadlifts, and it honestly disheartened me so much. I already had some hesitancy of getting on the stage area because it was so out in the open. Don't miss that particular place. Working at the jerk store. Surgeons. All but one of the surgeons I have worked with has been an egomaniacal douchecanoe. I've witnessed some amazing work, but it's a drag being in the same room as them for prolonged periods. Maybe I worked in a rare place, but I was an ER tech for 5 years and the surgeons I worked with on the trauma team were awesome. When I got fired for a hospital code violation, it was an attending physician that had my back and got it overturned. Bouncer. The people being bounced are usually buttholes. Your boss is certainly an butthole, your co-workers are probably buttholes, and you are probably an butthole. If you didn't start as an butthole bouncer, you probably become one quickly because of the environment. Yep, and it's almost impossible to reason with drunk buttholes who you've decided not to let in the club. Not a job I would do. HR, think it's genetic memory speaking. I fudging loathe HR departments and the useless people who staff them. Nothing fills my heart with hatred more than thinking back to how much incompetent, corrupt HR has fudged me over during my lifetime. I fantasize about becoming obscenely rich, buying a half-dozen cruise ships, putting on a fake HR mega conference in the Caribbean, filling all boats with HR personnel and then sinking them. I'd sit on my yacht with a cigar plus whiskey and laugh while it happened. My wife won't get to see me when I die because my dying wish is to have all the HR staff I dealt with over my life be sent to my deathbed so I can tell them all to go to hell one last time. In fact, if there is a heaven and hell, I would gladly forfeit serving in heaven for chance to reign in hell. If Satan promised to send all HR personnel to my own circle where I would force them to fill 12-page benefits forms with nearly dry ballpoint pens for all eternity. Debt collectors. I've had debt collectors calling my work phone for 6 years now. For the last guy who had the phone number, gee, wonder why he changed it. Tried to explain to them a whole bunch of times that Michael's not here, Michael gone. Don't know Michael. I have no interest in what happens to his credit score, and surprisingly, I have no number I can give them for this Michael the first have never met or dealt with in my life. The calls have dwindled to just once every week or so now. One of the regulars is sure I'm Michael and one of these days she'll catch me out. Likes to say hi Michael. Like someone talking to a friend when I answer. From where I'm from, police officers. Investment bankers, aka finance brothers. Sales. Any kind of sales. Specifically advertising sales. Source, worked in advertising sales. Second source, people tell me I'm a jerk all the time. Maybe a touchy one, but people in the army for more than 10 years. They sacrificed a lot for their country, including their normalcy. From my experience, I have yet to meet a single career army man who isn't a miserable, crusty, butthole through and through, at work and at home. The job does it to you, and I'm not just talking about combat. The workplace culture turns people into buttholes. It's a big reason I'm getting out. People who work for their parents' company, third-plus generation, are the worst. The company survived this long, I can just sit back and do nothing. Not all, but many who inherit a long-lived family business. Apartment managers. Recruiters. Pyramid schemers. Speaking from the perspective of being the son of one of these, currently working in a gas station where I interact with these people multiple times a day, and above all else, having been an employee at the Home Depot, construction workers. They are consistently the worst people I meet on a regular basis. Rude, petty, entitled, and worst of all, fudging creepy towards women. Oh, and from what I've seen, drunkards too. On and off the job site. I had female co-workers at Home Depot who was constantly sexually harassed by many of the construction workers who came in. And we weren't allowed to do anything about it. They said it was company policy, but we all knew it was because these construction companies spent so much money there that we couldn't touch them. Understandably, most of them left, and I won't even go into detail about my father. Just know he's a narcissistic, abusive piece of shit. And lo and behold, most people I've talked to who had a construction worker parent experienced close to the same home life I did. I know I have a bias, But that bias comes from experience. I'm sure there are good people who work in the field. But I have yet to meet them. They're disgusting slobs. Where I work now, we have a roller grill where customers can grab hot dogs and such using tongs. Guess which group of people consistently uses their bare hands? After they've gone to the bathroom, and more than likely didn't wash said hands. Hence why you should never buy gas station hot dogs. You're welcome, Internet. Hedge fund managers. Restaurant and retail managers. Bunch of power-tripping, passive-aggressive bullies in my experience.